G7 is a meeting of the leaders of the U.S., Canada, Germany, France, Italy, the United Kingdom, and Japan. I don't know if you have an image of what this meeting might look like, but this is a picture from 2014. And then we have this photo from 2019 where you can see a pouty little president refusing to eat his vegetables.
When a person who calls himself a very stable genius, such as Donald Trump, is charged with a felony while still being highly popular, you know that something is wrong in this world. Put another way, if you have a group of Secret Service agents at your disposal in minimal hands, why carry a gun? The former president was given a thorough roasting by Kimmel last night, and I have to admit the nervous farting at Mar-a-Lago had to have been at an all-time high. Kimmel can make liberals laugh until they weep while making fun of powerful people. This demonstrates one of his skills. When it comes to the former president, he has a plenty of material at his disposal, and boy, does he have an abundance of material to deal with. Jimmy Kimmel did not hold back when it came to cracking jokes that were directly aimed at the problems that have been surrounding Donald Trump lately. He spoke without holding back. The late-night host concentrated on how ridiculous it is that Trump, who is facing criminal charges, still possesses a handgun, claiming that doing so is a violation of his parole and might lead to another potential felony.
Trump had an interview with his probation officers on Monday, during which he reportedly admitted that he still has a gun back home in Florida. That could be a violation of his parole and could be another potential felony, a felony gun charge, which I don't know, who does this guy think he is, Hunter Biden? I don't know what he's thinking. He claims the gun was lawfully moved to Florida, which is the same thing he said about the classified documents he had stacked up around the toilet in the guest room. But
he was alluding to the reality that Trump is the subject of an ongoing criminal investigation by inquiring more such, who's this guy think he is, Hunter Biden? Despite his best efforts, Kimmel was unable to avoid making a humorous comparison between the two instances. Kimmel continued his mocking of Trump by making fun of his claim to have lawfully moved his pistol to Florida. Kimmel's words contradicted what Trump had said. He connected this charge to the dubious justification offered by the former president that there was private information stacked around the toilet in the guest room. This is a really confusing and baffling situation that has us all scratching our heads and wondering what kind of parallel reality Trump lives in. But why should it be the end of it all? Kimmel questioned how Trump, who is well known for having extremely little hands, could ever be able to operate a pistol. The joke went something like this: I mean, giving Trump a gun is like giving a dog a saxophone. How would a gun even work with those tiny fingers? Was the first joke he said.
Why does he even have a gun? He's surrounded by Secret Service. I don't know, maybe he's trying to protect himself from the windmills out there trying to kill him? How would a gun even work with those tiny fingers? I mean, could they even reach giving Trump a gun is like giving a dog a saxophone.
It is sufficient for the audience to laugh out loud, even if they only have a mental picture of the scenario. The fact that Trump has been the subject of attacks due to his appearance and the fact that he is a gun owner is by no means accidental. They are the outcome of the former president's protracted record of divisive policies and widespread derision during his administration. These activities have drawn condemnation from both the public and private spheres. Trump's admission during an interview with probation authorities that he was in possession of the pistol is essentially fueling the fire when one considers the legal ramifications of his criminal convictions. There's a humorous pot of jokes that never seems to run out when it comes to hand-sized jokes. This is related to people like the controversial 2016 presidential campaign and journalist Graydon Carter. Kimmel is a maestro of political humor. One of his highlights was his mocking of Trump. He adeptly combines recent occurrences with long-running political debates to emphasize how ridiculous the circumstances are. But it's crucial to keep in mind that beneath all the fun is a deeper biting indictment of a former president who continues to go outside the confines of what is considered appropriate behavior in society. This is something to keep in mind while we all chuckle at every joke. Kimmel not only focused on Trump's behavior, but also went beyond the bounds of what was reasonable. Furthermore, he succeeded in covering some of the most significant subjects that were grabbing news at the time, such as the G7 summit and the incredible field of artificial intelligence. It was he who found this strategy. There was more to Jimmy Kimmel's satirical treatment of President Trump than just a sense of humor. He did a great job of including current events, which included everything from international summits to the newest developments in technology and artificial intelligence. Regarding President Biden's visit at the G7 summit in Italy, Kimmel made the joke. President Biden is today in Italy. Also, he's in Fano for the annual G7 summit. These summits are always interesting because whenever Joe Biden hears G7, he yells bingo, Kimmel said.
President Biden today is in Italy. Also, he's in Fasano for the annual G7 summit. Whenever Joe Biden hears G7, he yells bingo. G7 is a meeting of the leaders of the U.S., Canada, Germany, France, Italy, the United Kingdom, and Japan.
Joe Biden is the former vice president that Kimmel was alluding to when he said that he attended the conference. But of all the things he said, the one that sticks in people's minds the most is the analogy he used to contrast Biden's behavior with Trump's prior international theatrical performances. A picture from the 2019 meeting that Kimmel shared allegedly depicted Trump as a pouty little president refusing to eat his vegetables. Kimmel claims that the photo was taken in 2019. I'm in pain. But that was not how roasting came to an end. Despite the fact that Trump is no longer in office, Kimmel was still able to incorporate his influence into his show. While Vice President Joe Biden is overseas, Donald Trump is expected to move into the District of Columbia on Thursday. During this time, he will meet with Republicans in the House of Representatives to discuss how they would run the government in the event that he wins, or how they would pretend to win in the event that he loses. It serves as a reminder that Trump's impact is still very much present in American politics. Still, politics was not the only issue at play. In addition to discussing artificial intelligence, Kimmel brought up ChatGPT and Apple's collaboration during his keynote speech.
Apple this week, I don't know if you saw, announced they're teaming up with ChatGPT to add AI to all of its products. They're calling it Apple Intelligence. AI clones of ourselves will one day be able to take care of a lot of busy work like answering emails and taking phone calls and even speaking at virtual meetings. Like Siri will no longer talk like she got a concussion in a boating accident.
He talked about this topic the entire time he was speaking. This week, Apple announced that they will be collaborating with ChatGPT to add artificial intelligence to all of their products. They are calling it Apple Intelligence. However, I'm not sure how you found out about this announcement. The most memorable part of the show, though, was when Kimmel revealed his very own AI clone made by company Deep Voodoo. Jimmy, the artificial intelligence, asked Kimmel, "You want to see my No, I wasn't wondering about that. Really, I wanted to see how you like to send an email as me," Kimmel responded.
I am very curious about how this technology will work. So we reached out to the people at a company called Deep Voodoo, and they were able to create a prototype of my AI clone, AI Jimmy. Hello. Hi, AI Jimmy. How are you?
Hello, meet Jimmy.
Well, I'm not really sure. I mean, I heard you can do things like take video calls and answer emails, so maybe we can try that.
Got it. You want to see my Sending an email with a picture of our to your work contacts.
No, don't do that. Stop, don't. Stop that.
You said, don't stop.
The lecture had a number of terrifying and funny moments. Even if artificial intelligence, AI, shows great promise, it will take some time before it can fully replace human comedians. But maybe the darkest moment of all was when Jimmy, the artificial intelligence, casually threatened to wipe all humanity. Perhaps the most horrifying aspect of the circumstances was this: I could explain the process by which artificial intelligence clones like myself will replace, enslave, and feed upon the very life force of you and everyone you have ever loved, ensuring that the extinction of the human race will be both swift and painful. Of course, it's a joke, but given how quickly artificial intelligence is developing these days, some people feel that gags like this one are a little too true. In his Donald Trump roast, Jimmy Kimmel touched on a lot of subjects, from debating the ramifications of artificial intelligence to poking fun of presidential summits. He did all of this while making fun of Trump. However, the true brilliance of his work was in the way he skillfully combined several seemingly unrelated topics into a hilarious, well-rounded whole. We're moving into the humorous area now, and you won't believe some of Kimmel's other one-liners. Jimmy's skill is in identifying parallels that are so utterly ridiculous that they manage to convey the entire idea. He can take advantage of this gift gift. By placing Donald Trump and Joe Biden next to one another, he poked fun at their respective legal issues at the moment. President Trump appears to still have a weapon stashed in a secret spot in Florida, despite the fact that all of his Secret Service babysitters are present. One joke that Kimmel told was, "Giving Trump a gun is like giving a dog a saxophone." Kimmel expressed this in a lighthearted manner. To put it another way, can you even identify it? The thought image alone is full of funny things that could happen, but there's still more. Give it a minute. In an attempt to encourage enthusiastic Boston Celtics fans to chant praise for their opponents, the Kimmel team went out onto the streets and tried to spread the word about the Dallas Mavericks. Without a doubt, this is a completely pointless and unproductive hobby. These ardent followers were not going to tolerate it. Someone stated clearly, "I do Celtics all day long," and they were right. It's not an issue, but we need both of them, but I really don't want to, my friend.
Well, we're gonna win. You have a lot of history. I know we have more championships than anybody else.
How do you guys feel about the Celtics?
I love the Celtics, young team. They're fighting for a championship, and they're playing with heart.
All B-Town ever gave us was the Boston Strangler and those creepy priests from Spotlight. Go Mavericks!
Someone else, however, took it a step farther and declared, "Dallas is for worthless." Above and beyond what was said, this guy did. Besides, everything was being rapidly consumed by the throng. The crowd exploded in laughter and cheers as Kimmel kept dropping one-liners after one. His politically charged humor is a natural fit for his lefty audience, which is not surprising considering the demographics of his fan base. People find him captivating because of his ability to blend humor and scathing criticism in equal measure. Kimmel's incredible ability to draw attention to the ludicrous aspects of contemporary situations and transform them into funny treasures is one of his most impressive gifts. He never fails to make people laugh, whether he's trying to win over ardent sports fans or comparing Donald Trump to a dog that has been shot, and he's always successful at it. Whom specifically is he speaking to here? Beside him are these folks, soaking up every joke and demanding more than they've already been given. It should come as no surprise that the person in question is a late-night legend. Kimmel's constant trolling of Trump has destroyed his ego, like a funny nuclear bomb going off in the sky. Kimmel behaves in a manner eerily reminiscent to a nuclear weapon. But Jimmy's insanity is not limited to cheap jokes. There's a method to his madness. Kimmel is carrying out the vital task of speaking truth to power by drawing attention to the errors that Trump has committed and holding him responsible when he does. Kimmel is taking on a major responsibility with this one. He lets everyone see the naked emperor because of his razor-sharp humor, which effortlessly cuts through the gibberish. In a world where discussing politics frequently seems like an episode of poor reality TV, Kimmel's witty observations are a much-needed dose of common sense. I think Kimmel made a worthwhile addition. This serves as a reminder that sometimes the best way to deal with a bully is to laugh at them and point at them.